When the government has done something good, Peter Obi will never comment about it. Bayo Onanuga. Special Advisor on Information Strategy to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Bayo Onanuga, has decided to talk about former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi. He accused him of not commenting on Bola Tinubu's administration whenever they carry out a positive thing that will benefit the citizens. The former Director of Media and Publicity for the Tinubu-Shettima's presidential campaign, who made such accusation during an interview with Shenyun Okimbayaloye few minutes ago, stated that Nigeria is relatively safer when compared to South Africa and the USA, because he is currently living in Abuja and he is safe in the Federal Capital Territory. However, the newspaper chief executive, on speaking about the Obedient Movement, accused them of trying to make sure that the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu fails. According to Bayo Onanuga, Peter Obi himself reads his tweets. When government has done something good, he will never comment about it. But when it is bad news, quickly he will tweet. Very interesting. Let's look at what the comments are saying. First, Bayo, it is Nigerians that will speak if your government is doing well, not Obisa. Thanks. Well, very factual, because at the end of the day, it also shows you that they're not worried about their citizens. And it is a competition. It is politics. And the Labour Party was a very strong opposition party. Peter Obi himself was a very huge force to be reckoned with, in the fact that it threatened the norm where those in power, they really had to, go out of their way to be even more blatantly corrupt to win. But Peter Obi was a very strong contender, which got people off their seats and got to work, whether they did it in the most, with integrity or not, with transparency or honesty, that's not the question. But it got the lazy, and also powerful ones moving and having to be strategic. So it just shows you, again, they're playing a game amongst themselves. And they're very few, and the people are many. So really, the stakes within themselves, they choose to focus on that. Even when Obi isn't talking, he's in the news. Exactly. And it's another thing where it's like, he can give comments, but right now, it's probably smart of him to try do a bit more charitable and, I don't know, give very vague statements or just give his opinion, really. And even before he got into the presidential race, he has always been giving talks and conferences about the government. So this doesn't just change now. Of course, yes, since then, he'd also been in the political and presidential race. So that's why he's as relevant. But even when the race and the campaigns and everything was ongoing at the time, Peter Obi did not really have to do much. He was just a force, really, because he had the majority of the youth aligning to his ideology. Well, not his ideology, a shared ideology that he shared with the youth, and a very big force with the youths being on social media. So he kind of had a media advantage, you can say, because if he didn't have the following that he did on social media, he could actually have been a victim of, let's say, an unfair scrutiny. So if we actually left it to the Nigerian media houses, journalists and all that to be in charge of his publicity solely, on a major impact to how he's publicly perceived, then maybe he would have had a very unfair advantage, because those are obviously owned by, the powers that be. But the youth being on social media and the sweep and the force, yes, a lot of people did not actually vote for Peter Obi. Yes, not everyone agreed. And to be fair, the strength of the Labour Party and the youth and social media, even of how strong it was, kind of gave my disadvantage, because people then used extremists as, that is Peter Obi's people, that's Peter Obi. So it also was really good as a force, but it also didn't work for him. So he's an easy target. That's what it means. It means that if you add his name to a conversation, it will trend. He did not ask for it. They're probably like, that's it. Let's look at another comment. They're waiting for the government to fail just because their candidates didn't win. Wicked people. The government has failed already until something drastic is done. And I think, okay, fine, if we're going to take all sentiments, all politics aside, I don't think you can really do that. But if we're really to do that, yes, you can argue that you would need a bit of time to really see the impact of what someone has done. But you've seen people look at, the governor of Abia State, like, you can actually prove to your people, even with a short period of time, even honesty, honesty that shows that in the policies that you sign, in how you speak to the people, in how you carry yourself, you build that trust. Tell me what trust Tinubu even brings. And even with Peter Obi being in government, I mean, I don't think people, yes, it was a very big thing, but I also don't think that people had an extreme thing that, Peter Obi will get into power and the next day Nigeria will turn into the USA. No. Yes, there'll be the expectation, giving his expertise, his knowledge, and his experience. But realistically, no one's still going to be like, oh, by the way, because, just because he is going into presidency, we give him one day and then he does everything. Nah, it doesn't work like that. Please, what good have they done? Exactly. What good have they actually done, really? And that's why when it comes to him, no matter what he does, no matter how he carries himself, he will be seen to be biased, whatever they want to say. But please, like Tinubu used to commend Jonathan, or did Buhari ever say anything good in the elected government before his? Again, I think they also know the name that Peter Obi carries and the people being behind him. So as someone says, anything concerns Peter Obi, if he didn't say, he said. If he wasn't there, he was there. So, even after the elections, that would, to be fair, if Nigeria actually took its own history very seriously, that election, the 2023 elections, is not one to forget at all. Put what you think about this in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.